Welcome to the channel Rare Coins Collections. Today's exciting video where we'll be diving deep into a fascinating coin that has captured the attention of collectors and enthusiasts alike, the 1974 Washington quarter dollar. Now, we know that quarters are commonly used in everyday transactions, but did you know that a 1974 Washington quarter could be worth far more than its face value? Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting into the world of coin hunting, this video is for you. We'll explore the key features of the 1974 Washington quarter, the errors that can make it incredibly valuable, and how to spot one of these hidden treasures. Let's begin by taking a closer look at the 1974 Washington quarter itself. The design features the iconic profile of George Washington, the first president of the United States, and was created by John Flanagan. This design has remained on the quarter since 1932, making it one of the most recognizable and beloved symbols in American coinage. The reverse of the 1974 quarter shows an eagle perched on a branch, with the words, United States of America, e pluribus unum, and quarter dollar surrounding it. But what makes the 1974 Washington quarter stand out among other quarters? While many of these coins were simply minted and circulated, there are certain features that make a small subset of them highly valuable. Let's talk about these key features and the errors you should be on the lookout for. The first thing you should know is that the 1974 Washington quarter was primarily struck in a composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel, which is typical for the period. However, due to the nature of coin production, some 1974 quarters ended up with subtle errors that make them especially valuable to collectors. These mistakes can range from misstruck coins to die errors, and even a few unusual minting anomalies. One of the most sought-after varieties of the 1974 Washington quarter is the double die obverse error. This error occurs when the coin is struck multiple times with the same die, creating a noticeable doubling of certain elements on the coin. When you closely examine the face of George Washington on a 1974 quarter with this error, you may notice that parts of his hair, eye, or even the words, Liberty, and, In God We Trust, appear doubled. This is not just a minor flaw, it's a major feature that significantly boosts the coin's value. Another error you should be aware of is the die clash. This occurs when two dies collide during the minting process, causing an imprint of one die on the other. This can result in unusual marks, lines, or images on the coin's surface. A quarter with a die clash can often have strange, overlapping or misplaced details, making it an exciting find for collectors who value unique and rare coins. Now, let's talk about why a 1974 Washington quarter can be so valuable. Most people think of a quarter as just 25 cents, but certain coins, like the 1974 variety with these rare errors, can be worth much more. This is because errors make the coin much rarer than a regular, mass-produced quarter. Coin collectors and enthusiasts are always on the lookout for these rare anomalies, and the demand for them can drive prices up significantly. A 1974 Washington quarter with a double die obverse or a notable die clash can fetch prices anywhere from $3,800 to $55,000 depending on its condition and rarity. That's right, a quarter that might otherwise be worth just 25 cents could be worth thousands of dollars. So, how can you spot one of these valuable 1974 Washington quarters? The key here is attention to detail. If you have a 1974 quarter, take a close look at the features. First, check for any signs of doubling on the coin's obverse. Look closely at Washington's face, hair, and the lettering around the edge. If the details seem blurry or like they've been stamped more than once, you might have a double die error on your hands. Next, examine the reverse of the coin. Check for any unusual marks or odd lines that might indicate a die clash. The die clash will often leave faint impressions of other parts of the coin's design where they shouldn't be. If you spot any of these strange characteristics, then you found a coin that could be worth much more than its face value. But there's a catch: these errors can be very subtle, so you'll need a keen eye and possibly a magnifying glass to really pick them out. If you're unsure whether you found a valuable coin, it's always a good idea to have it professionally graded by a numismatist or coin expert. They can help determine whether your 1974 Washington quarter is a valuable error coin or just another regular piece of currency. Now, before we wrap up, I have an exciting question for all of you collectors and coin enthusiasts watching. Have you ever found a rare coin with a minting error, like a double die or a die clash? Maybe you have a 1974 Washington quarter hidden in your collection? Drop a comment below and let us know what rare coins you've discovered. We'd love to hear about your experiences and find out if you've stumbled upon a hidden treasure. In conclusion, the 1974 Washington quarter is much more than just another piece of change. With its potential for errors like the double die obverse and die clash, it represents a fascinating opportunity for collectors to uncover something truly valuable. If you happen to find one of these rare quarters, you could be holding onto a coin worth thousands of dollars. Today, we're going to talk about a fascinating coin that has caught the eye of collectors around the world, the 1981 Washington quarter dollar. This seemingly ordinary coin has some extraordinary qualities that could make it worth much more than just a quarter. Whether you're a seasoned collector or new to the world of numismatics, this video will give you all the details on why the 1981 Washington quarter is so special, how to identify valuable errors, and why some of these coins can fetch mind-blowing prices at auctions. Let's begin by taking a look at the basics of the 1981 Washington quarter. The design is the classic and iconic depiction of George Washington, the first President of the United States, which was created by John Flanagan. This design has been used on the quarter since 1932, and it's instantly recognizable to anyone who's seen American currency. The reverse features the eagle, perched on a branch, with the words United States of America, e pluribus unum, and quarter dollar circling it. But what sets the 1981 quarter apart from other years, and why is it drawing attention from collectors? One of the key features of the 1981 Washington quarter is its composition. Like most quarters minted after 1965, the 1981 version is made from a mixture of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. It has a distinctive metallic shine and a smooth edge, which makes it easy to spot. But beyond this basic information, the real story lies in the potential errors that some of these quarters may have. Errors like these can increase a coin's value dramatically, making it a highly coveted find for coin collectors and enthusiasts. Now, let's get into the exciting part, the errors that could make your 1981 Washington quarter worth a small fortune. The most significant and sought-after error is the double die obverse. This is when a coin is struck with a misaligned die, causing some of the features, such as the image of George Washington or the inscriptions, to appear doubled. This can happen due to a misalignment in the minting process, and it creates a noticeable doubling effect that stands out when you closely examine the coin. So, how can you spot this double die error on a 1981 Washington quarter? First, look closely at the face of George Washington. The most obvious sign of doubling will be in the details of his eyes, the forehead, or the chin. If you notice that the image of his profile looks slightly blurred or that there are two distinct outlines of the same feature, then you could be looking at a double die error. Another area to check is the lettering on the coin, specifically Liberty and In God We Trust. If you spot doubling in these areas as well, then you've got a coin that could be worth far more than just 25 cents. In addition to the double die obverse, there are also other rare errors that can make a 1981 Washington quarter valuable. For example, a die clash error can occur when two dies make contact without a coin in between, creating strange, often unexpected marks or designs on the coin. These marks may appear on the eagle's wings, the mint mark, or even the edges of the coin. Die clashes are particularly rare and add another layer of intrigue to an otherwise standard quarter, but what makes these errors so valuable? Well, it's all about rarity. Coins with minting errors are inherently rare because they only happen when something goes wrong during the production process. These coins are far less common than regular, error-free coins, which makes them highly desirable to collectors. The more pronounced the error, the more valuable the coin becomes. Collectors are always on the lookout for these mistakes, and when they find a coin like a 1981 Washington quarter with a rare error, they're willing to pay top dollar for it. So, why is the 1981 Washington quarter worth so much money? The answer lies in the combination of rarity and collector demand. Coins with errors, especially those in good condition, can fetch incredible prices at auctions. A 1981 Washington quarter with a double die obverse or other notable errors can easily be worth anywhere from $3,800 to $59,000. That's right, a coin that was originally worth just 25 cents could potentially be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Of course, the value depends on the rarity of the error, the condition of the coin, and how well it's been preserved. Now that you know what to look for, how do you go about spotting a valuable 1981 Washington quarter? The key here is close inspection. Get your hands on a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe, and take your time examining the coin. Start by looking at the details of George Washington's face. If you see any sign of doubling, you might have a double die obverse coin. Be sure to check the lettering, too, especially around Liberty and In God We Trust. If anything looks off, like doubling or strange marks, then you could be holding a rare error coin. Next, turn the coin over and examine the reverse side. Look for any unusual marks or lines that could be the result of a die clash. If you notice anything that doesn't quite match the typical design, it might be worth investigating further. It's always a good idea to compare your coin to a standard 1981 Washington quarter to see if there are any discrepancies. Before you get too excited, keep in mind that condition is also a major factor in determining a coin's value. A coin in mint condition with a clear, obvious error is going to fetch a much higher price than a coin that's worn, scratched, or damaged. Coins that have been graded by a professional numismatist, like those from the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, will have a higher market value, so getting your coin professionally graded is always a smart move if you think it could be valuable. Before we wrap up, I have a question for you, the viewers. Have you ever come across a coin with a noticeable error? Maybe you've stumbled upon a rare 1981 Washington quarter, or even a coin from another year that turned out to be worth much more than its face value. Share your experiences in the comments below. Who knows, you could be the lucky one to find a hidden gem right in your own collection. In conclusion, the 1981 Washington quarter is not just another piece of pocket change, it's a coin that could hold hidden value. From the double die obverse error to the rare die clash, this coin represents the fascinating world of numismatics and the thrill of discovering something truly special. If you ever come across one of these rare error coins, make sure to hold on to it and get it checked out by a professional. You could be sitting on a small fortune. Today, we're going to explore the fascinating and often overlooked 1982 Washington quarter dollar. This seemingly ordinary coin has hidden potential that can make it worth much more than just 25 cents. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just starting to dive into the hobby, this video is perfect for you. We're going to talk about the key features of the 1982 Washington quarter, rare errors you should be looking for, why it's valuable, and how to spot one in your collection or pocket change. Let's start by getting to know the 1982 Washington quarter. The design of this coin is classic. On the front, you have the portrait of George Washington, created by artist John Flanagan. This image has graced the quarter since 1932, and it's one of the most iconic depictions of an American president. On the reverse side, you'll find the eagle, wings outstretched, perched on a branch. Surrounding the eagle are the words, United States of America, e pluribus unum, and quarter dollar. It's a design that many people recognize, but here's the twist. Not all 1982 quarters are the same. The key feature that makes some 1982 Washington quarters so intriguing lies in the subtle changes in minting and the possibility of errors that occurred during the production process. Let's dive into those details, shall we? During 1982, the U.S. Mint produced millions of quarters, but there were some anomalies that made a small number of them highly valuable. The main error you'll want to look for in these coins is the double die obverse. This error occurs when a coin is struck multiple times with the same die, resulting in a doubling effect in the features of the design. In the case of the 1982 quarter, this means you could see doubling in the words, Liberty and In God We Trust, as well as on the profile of George Washington's face. The doubling can be slight or more pronounced, but the key is noticing the second impression of the design. The next error to be on the lookout for is a die clash. A die clash occurs when two coin dies come into contact without a coin between them, leaving an imprint of one die on the other. This results in strange, unusual marks and designs that shouldn't be there. A die clash could leave the image of Washington's profile or part of the eagle's wings on the reverse side of the coin, creating a fascinating and unique piece that collectors are eager to add to their collections. Now, you may be wondering, why are these errors so valuable? The reason is simple: rarity and demand. Coins with minting errors are rare by nature because they occur when something goes wrong during the production process. These coins are far less common than regular coins, which makes them more desirable to collectors. The more noticeable and unique the error, the more valuable the coin becomes. Collectors love to find coins that are different, that stand out from the rest, and these 1982 Washington quarters with errors certainly fit that description. But the real question is, how much can these error coins actually be worth? Well, if you happen to find a 1982 Washington quarter with a double die obverse or die clash error, you could be holding a coin worth far more than its face value. In fact, these rare 1982 quarters can be worth anywhere from $3,800 to $53,000 depending on the severity of the error, the condition of the coin, and how well it's been preserved. Imagine finding a quarter in your pocket change, and then realizing that it's worth thousands of dollars. That's the power of rare coin collecting. But how do you spot these valuable errors? It all comes down to careful inspection and a keen eye for detail. First, grab a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. This will allow you to get a closer look at the coin and check for any signs of doubling or unusual marks. Start by looking closely at George Washington's face. The most obvious sign of a double die obverse is doubling in his hair, eye, or the outline of his profile. Pay close attention to the letters Liberty and In God We Trust, as these are the areas most commonly affected by this error. If you notice a slight shadow or duplication of these features, you might have found a coin worth a lot more than just 25 cents. Next, flip the coin over to check for a die clash error. Look for any strange markings on the reverse side of the quarter, especially near the eagle or around the edges. These marks can be faint, so it's important to inspect the coin carefully. If you see something unusual or out of place, it might be worth further investigation. Now, let's talk about how the condition of the coin affects its value. As with all rare coins, the better the condition, the higher the price it can fetch. Coins that have been well preserved, with minimal wear and tear, are far more valuable than coins that have been scratched, bent, or otherwise damaged. If you think you found a rare 1982 Washington quarter, it's a good idea to have it graded by a professional numismatist. A grade from a trusted grading service like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, can help establish the coin's value and increase its appeal to collectors. Before we finish, I'd love to hear from all of you in the comments section. Have you ever come across a rare coin with an error? Maybe you found a 1982 Washington quarter in your change, or perhaps you've discovered another type of error coin that turned out to be worth a lot more than you expected. Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to share any tips you have for spotting valuable coins. In conclusion, the 1982 Washington quarter is much more than just a simple piece of pocket change. With its potential for rare errors like the double die obverse and die clash, this coin offers collectors a chance to discover hidden treasures worth thousands of dollars. So, next time you're flipping through your pocket change or rummaging through your coin jar, take a closer look at those quarters, because you never know when you'll find one of these rare gems. Today, we're diving into the world of the 1986 Washington quarter dollar. At first glance, it may seem like just another standard coin, but the 1986 Washington quarter has hidden potential that could make it worth far more than its face value of just 25 cents. Whether you're an experienced coin collector or a beginner, you'll want to stick around to learn why this coin could be the next big find in your collection. Let's start by looking at the 1986 Washington quarter and its key features. The design on the obverse, or the front side of the coin, features the iconic portrait of George Washington, the first President of the United States, designed by John Flanagan. Washington's image has graced the quarter since 1932, making it one of the most recognizable and beloved designs in American coinage. On the reverse side, you'll see the bald eagle, which is perched on a branch, with the words United States of America, E pluribus unum, and $quarter circling the design. The 1986 quarter shares the same design as quarters from the 20th century, but there are subtle features that set it apart from earlier years. Now, let's talk about why the 1986 Washington quarter can be so valuable. Many collectors are drawn to coins that possess certain characteristics or anomalies, and in the case of the 1986 Washington quarter, there are a few things to keep an eye out for. The first, and most valuable, feature that collectors look for in this coin is the presence of minting errors. Like with many other coins, small mistakes made during production can lead to rare varieties, which can skyrocket the value of the coin. One of the most common and highly sought-after errors found in the 1986 Washington quarter is the double die obverse. This occurs when a coin is struck twice with the same die, causing some of the features to appear doubled. If you look closely at a 1986 quarter with this error, you may notice that certain elements on the coin, such as the word Liberty, In God We Trust, or even parts of Washington's face, appear doubled or slightly misaligned. These doubled images are a clear indication of a double die error and can make a coin significantly more valuable. Another error to look for is the clashed die. This occurs when two coin dies strike each other without a coin between them, leaving strange, often faint marks or impressions on the surface of the coin. In the case of the 1986 Washington quarter, a die clash might leave an imprint of Washington's profile or part of the eagle on the reverse side of the coin. While not as common as the double die error, the clash die error is highly desirable to collectors due to its rarity and the unique look it gives the coin. Now that you know what errors to look for, let's talk about why these errors make the 1986 Washington quarter so valuable. The value of a coin is driven by a few key factors: rarity, demand, and condition. Errors like the double die obverse or die clash are incredibly rare, which makes these coins highly sought after by collectors. Because they're mistakes that occurred during production, they're much scarcer than regular, error-free quarters. Collectors often pay top dollar for these types of coins, and the rarity of these errors can result in big paydays at auction. The condition of the coin is also an important factor in determining its value. Coins that are in mint or near mint condition, with minimal wear and tear, are worth more than coins that have been damaged, scratched, or heavily circulated. A well-preserved 1986 Washington quarter with a noticeable error can command significantly higher prices than one in poor condition. So, if you have a 1986 quarter and you're wondering if it might be valuable, make sure to carefully inspect it for any signs of wear or damage. So, how much can a 1986 Washington quarter be worth if you happen to find one with an error? If the coin is in excellent condition and features a noticeable error, like the double die obverse or die clash, it could be worth anywhere from $3,300 to $55,000. That's right, a quarter worth just 25 cents could be worth thousands of dollars. Of course, the value depends on factors like the type of error, the severity of the error, and the condition of the coin, but it's clear that a 1986 Washington quarter with a rare minting mistake can fetch a significant amount of money. Now, how do you spot these valuable errors? First, make sure you have a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to closely examine the coin. Start by inspecting the front of the coin, particularly the word Liberty and In God We Trust. Look for any signs of doubling. If the letters or Washington's image appear slightly misaligned or duplicated, you may have a double die obverse on your hands. Next, flip the coin over and examine the reverse. Check for any unusual markings or strange impressions from a die clash. These can appear faintly, so pay close attention to areas around the eagle or along the edges of the coin. It's also important to remember that professional grading can significantly impact the value of the coin. If you think you found a valuable 1986 Washington quarter, getting it professionally graded by a reputable service, like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, can help determine its true value and give you peace of mind knowing you have an authentic, high-quality coin. Before we wrap up, I want to hear from you. Have you ever found a coin with a minting error that turned out to be more valuable than you expected? Maybe you have a 1986 Washington quarter or another coin with a rare error hidden in your collection. Let me know in the comments below. We'd love to hear about your experiences and discoveries. Who knows, your story might inspire someone else to start searching their pockets for hidden treasures. In conclusion, the 1986 Washington quarter is much more than just a standard piece of currency. With the potential for rare errors like the double die obverse and die clash, this coin is a fascinating example of how small imperfections in minting can result in valuable treasures. If you ever come across a 1986 quarter with one of these rare errors, you might just be holding on to something worth thousands of dollars. Keep your eyes peeled, and who knows, the next big find might be right under your nose. Today, we're going to take an exciting deep dive into a very special coin, the 1983 Washington quarter dollar. It might look like a regular quarter you've seen hundreds of times before, but trust me, this coin has some secrets that could make it worth a lot more than its face value of just 25 cents. Whether you're an experienced collector or someone just starting to explore the fascinating world of rare coins, you'll want to pay attention to this one because the 1983 Washington quarter could be hiding some serious value. Let's begin by talking about the basic features of the 1983 Washington quarter. As with most quarters, the obverse, or the front side of the coin, features the iconic portrait of George Washington. This design, created by artist John Flanagan, has been used since 1932. Washington is shown in profile with the inscription "Liberty" above his head, and the words, "In God We Trust" below. It's a timeless design that has become a staple of American coinage. The reverse side of the coin features the majestic bald eagle, perched on a branch, with the words, "United States of America, E pluribus unum," and "quarter dollar" surrounding it. The 1983 Washington quarter shares this classic design, but it's the subtle details and potential errors that make this coin particularly interesting. Now, let's dive into what sets the 1983 quarter apart from others and what you should be on the lookout for when examining your own collection. One of the most important aspects of the 1983 Washington quarter is the possibility of minting errors. While most coins are produced with a perfect, clean strike, mistakes happen during the minting process, and these mistakes can result in rare, valuable coins. The 1983 Washington quarter is no exception, and there are some key errors that could make a seemingly ordinary coin worth thousands. The first and most significant error to look for is the double die obverse. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin has been misaligned, causing the design to be struck more than once. As a result, you may notice that the features of the coin, particularly the text like "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," or even George Washington's profile, appear doubled. The doubling can range from very faint to highly noticeable, but the more pronounced the doubling, the more valuable the coin becomes. The double die obverse error is one of the most sought-after minting mistakes by collectors because it's so unique, and it can significantly increase the coin's worth. Another error to look for in the 1983 Washington quarter is a clash die. This error happens when two coin dies strike each other without a coin in between, leaving an imprint of one die on the other. In the case of the 1983 quarter, a die clash might leave part of Washington's profile or even part of the eagle's wings on the reverse side of the coin. These errors are much rarer than the double die obverse, but they're still highly collectible. If you find a 1983 quarter with a die clash, you could have a unique piece that stands out among other coins from the same year. Now that we know what to look for, let's talk about why these errors make the 1983 Washington quarter so valuable. The key factor here is rarity. Errors in coin minting are always rare, and the 1983 Washington quarter is no different. Most of the quarters produced in 1983 were minted without any noticeable errors, making the ones that do have a mistake much harder to find. The more distinct the error, the higher the coin's value. Collectors are always on the lookout for these rare pieces because they're not just a part of American history, they're also a symbol of the imperfections that happen in the minting process. imperfections that make the coin truly one of a kind. The condition of the coin also plays a significant role in determining its value. A 1983 Washington quarter in pristine condition with no scratches, dents, or signs of wear will be worth much more than one that's been heavily circulated. A well-preserved coin that features one of these minting errors could easily fetch a much higher price, especially if it's been professionally graded by a reputable grading service like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. Coins that are graded higher, particularly those in near mint or mint condition, are always more valuable than those in lower grades. So, how much can a 1983 Washington quarter with an error be worth? If you happen to find a double die obverse or a clash die error in great condition, you could be looking at a coin that's worth far more than just 25 cents. A 1983 Washington quarter with one of these errors can be worth anywhere from $3,300 to $51,000. That's right, a quarter worth 25 cents could potentially be worth thousands of dollars, depending on the rarity and condition of the error. Of course, the exact value will depend on how prominent the error is, the overall condition of the coin, and the demand from collectors, but these figures give you an idea of just how valuable a rare 1983 Washington quarter can be. So, how do you spot a valuable 1983 Washington quarter? The key to identifying these valuable errors is careful inspection. You'll want to grab a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to take a closer look at the details of the coin. Start by examining the front of the coin, paying special attention to the lettering, particularly the word Liberty and In God We Trust. Look for any signs of doubling in these areas. If you notice that the letters seem to have a second, faint outline or appear misaligned, you could have a double die obverse error on your hands. Next, flip the coin over and examine the reverse. Look for any unusual marks or impressions. These could be signs of a die clash, where one die's imprint appears on the opposite side of the coin. While you're inspecting, also keep in mind the overall condition of the coin. A coin in excellent, near mint condition is always more valuable than one that has been worn down through circulation. If you think you found a rare 1983 Washington quarter, consider getting it professionally graded by a reputable coin grading service. A professional assessment can help determine the coin's true value and give you the confidence to know you've got a genuine, valuable piece of history. Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear from you, the viewers. Have you ever come across a rare coin with an error that turned out to be much more valuable than you expected? Maybe you found a 1983 Washington quarter with a double die or a die clash in your own collection. Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories and tips for spotting these valuable treasures. In conclusion, the 1983 Washington quarter is much more than just a simple coin. It's a piece of American history with the potential to be worth thousands of dollars if it has a rare minting error like the double die obverse or die clash. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, this coin has the potential to be a game changer for your collection. Keep an eye out for those subtle errors, and you just might uncover a hidden gem worth far more than its face value. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed learning about the 1983 Washington quarter and want to see more videos about rare coins, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And who knows, maybe your next great find is just around the corner.